Cheers, welcome to my channel. This is a bonus new moon for the month of April tarot oracle reading. And Gemini, you are the star of this astrological insight. If your sun sign isn't Gemini, we all have a little bit of Gemini in us somewhere. If you do have your birth chart, which house is Gemini in, that's where this energy will show up for you. This is a timely reading, meaning if you're watching it at this time, it is the perfect time for you. Having said that, if it's been a while since I posted this, what was going on in your life back then, that could give you further clarity as to your situation now. We're going to begin with the underlying energy from the bottom of the deck, and we have the Six of Pentacles. Pentacles in tarot represent health, wealth, and happiness in the third dimensional world. They're represented by a pentacle in a coin. Because money is a big part of this. Having said this, you could all have all the money in the world and still not be living the lifestyle that you want to live. So this card here, the Six of Pentacles, represents someone who has enough money to give to charity at this time. And it's talking about having the discernment as to who they want to invest in, how much they want to invest, what they want to invest. And, is it a fair exchange? What are you anticipating the return to be? And is it fair? So this person here is receiving coins from the person distributing it here because he discerns that he will use it and benefit himself from it and really needs it. Whereas this person, he has the scales of justice hanging over his head because this grifter has something in his pocket already. And he's like, go get a job, you bum. You have what you need. Go in and work for a living. Sometimes this can represent someone breadcrumbing you. This is the underlying energy for the reading. And we do have the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles is the underlying energy for the internal forces. So the internal forces are basically what you have control of. They're coming from within you. And you can tell that because the questions you'll be asking are like, what if I do this and they do that? Or what if I don't do this and they do this? That kind of energy. And so it is talking about internal forces that you do have control over. You can't control what other people do and say, but you can control whether you react to it or you respond to it. So this is the internal forces. Ace of Pentacles, that's good to go. The Ace of Pentacles is a reward from the Most High for staying on your destined path. And so this is some more pentacles coming in. A promise of more coming in. And we do have Temperance. Temperance is representing having the patience to be on your journey, on your destined journey, the path of glory, which is also this path featured here. So this is saying, in the Bible it says that God sends down 144,000 angels in human form, high spiritual beings that are put on earth to help make the world a more fair place and add beauty to the world. This angel has her foot in the water of the universe, and it's her right foot. She's adding her own alchemy to that, and then she has her left foot grounded on the earth. And you'll notice where her foot is grounded, there's already a beautiful flowers growing there. And so this is talking about staying on your path of glory, having the patience to do so. Sometimes it seems like a slower path, but in the end, it always pays off to be the better route. And then we have the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords energy represents major conflict. Now, this conflict can be with others, and it's cutthroat energy. You can see even the clouds in the sky are jagged. They've been ripped with the sword. And so this energy can also be an inner conflict within your mind. The swords represent an energy of mental intelligence and your ability to discipline your mind. This is your thoughts. Your thoughts are basically expressed through words, and words can be either written or they could be verbal. When I see this card, I think if it's an inner conflict that's going on, this could represent the three different versions of yourself that in your mind's eye. And so this energy, the first one is the subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind is formed by the time you're about 6 or 7 years of age. You, when you're a baby, you're like a sponge, so you just absorb your environment like a sponge. And this energy is very, it also is the energy of the people that are in charge of your care. So their thoughts, how they live, their culture, etc. And so the subconscious mind is heavily imprinted on us. And by the time we're like 6 or 7, we carry it well into our adulthood. When we get triggered, we have a tendency to rely on our subconscious mind. It's the first one that pops up. I know I'll do this. And it's not necessarily the most reliable, because it's not really your thoughts. It's the thoughts of the people who raised you, basically. And so you don't have memory of that time, so you kind of had to rely on who they said you were. The unconscious mind is, I know a lot of people will accept, yes, I am a human being with a soul, but from the soul's perspective, you are a soul traveling in a human body, and this is your journey, this is your vehicle to navigate through the earth. And if the unconscious mind is not satisfied, if the soul's needs are not being met, the unconscious mind becomes very loud, and it can cause conflict within you. And then we also have the conscious mind. That's what, okay, yesterday I went here and I did this and I have a memory of it. I'm conscious of it. And so if you put all three of them together and they're congruent with each other, and you plug them into your heart, then you are actually going to be following your authentic heart desires. Whereas if they're arguing with each other, you need to discipline your mind. Your mind should be working for you, not against you, so that you're not having this conflict all the time within. And this energy, you can calm your mind by learning how to meditate and go inward, praying and being in that state, so that you're able to feel, you can feel your intuition and not just be overthinking and getting caught in thinking loops. So the swords actually are double-edged. There's a logical part of yourself, and then there's the intuitive part. When you put the two together, you get your creative solutions. And so this conflict can cause, inner conflict often attracts outer conflict. You may notice that once you calm your mind, that you are like, oh, I don't seem to have the same kind of conflicts with other people that I used to have. And so then this next energy is the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords, she's sitting on her throne, and she has learned the art of discernment. She has been there, done that. She's bought the t-shirt. She has no interest in any bullshit. She's considered the coldest of the queens in the tarot, but it wasn't always that way. It's just that she just does not want to put up with any more bullshit. She has her head above the clouds. So if in the past she was not clear on what she wanted or where she wanted to go, she is very clear now. She wants to stay on her destined path, and she wants to there seems to be some energy here where she's saying, I want these pentacles. So she wants the lifestyle. She wants, I feel like there's been some conflict maybe over this energy here. And she is clear-minded. She knows, I'm willing to receive this, but I'm not willing. Her right hand is holding her sword up. I'm not willing to put up with any bullshit. And if I should happen to have any bullshit, off with your head. I have no problem. So don't cross her. Don't come into her unless you're going to come into her correct. And then we have the energy of the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups is basically someone who is highly favored to get what they wish for, but they have to stay focused and stay in the game. Now, this energy could say that you're a public figure, or your partner is a public figure, that you are, seen in the public a lot or on stage. You might have a platform of some kind. This is talking about some sort of public image. And the energy, these 9 cups, there's only 10 cups in the tarot. So if you're already at 9, then you're well on your way to having this ultimate love and fulfillment, where, you know, you love your partner and your partner loves you, and you love your career and your career loves you. The people you work with, you get along with, you know, your clients. Everything is like, there's just you're surrounded with a lot of love. And this is also sometimes indicative of following like this path of glory, the kind of the one that you dreamt about when you were a child and you wished upon. And so this energy is saying, you are highly favored. Having said that, you need to stay very focused and stay in the game, because if you get distracted, then you could run out of the steam to be able to cross the finish line. This energy, this person has their feet turned outward. And so this is talking about leaking energy from the base chakra. And so this is like not 100% focused energy. He does have his arms in the form of an infinity symbol, and this is representing kind of like a genie energy almost. But, you know, he's successful and he's highly favored. But if he wants to be successful this time, he's going to have to keep his, you know, stay in the game and stay focused enough to cross that finish line. Many a race is lost in the last lap. And then we have immature competition, my Mean Girls card. So this is talking about adolescence. It's the only card in the tarot where there's adolescents duking it out like this. And this is representing an energy of immature competition. So what I mean by that, the wands represent the element of fire and action and passion. So think of narcissistic cheerleaders, you know, they're maybe in grade 8 or grade 10, that kind of energy. And they're at a competition, a cheerleading competition. They can see the other team is better than them in many ways and is clearly the winner, but they aren't willing to accept that. So they'll do anything they can to win that trophy. And if they don't succeed, their mothers will pull strings behind the scenes to make sure they win. So it's that kind of energy of immature competition. A better approach would be like, and one that you learn as you mature, is like, it doesn't matter if you are, you know, trying to get a position at work and maybe have a promotion, and that's what you're competing for, or if you're competing for, you know, in a sporting event, whatever you're competing in, you're actually competing with the last best version of yourself. So if you have that attitude, no matter what or who you're competing against or what you're competing with, the pressure is taken off you to be better than anyone outside of you, but just to put that energy into being the very best version that you can be of yourself. If you're even 1% better every time you go out and compete, that is going to accelerate your ability to win more than being jealous of the other team. You can use the competition to inspire you. If you see someone's better at doing something, watch them, learn from them. That kind of energy, then the next time you go out, you duplicate that. You figure out how did they do it, and you practice it. And the next time you go out there, you're going to be that much better. And if everybody on the team does that, even if you're within a team, if everyone has that attitude on the team, then of course, and has a team, you know, they're team players, your team is going to excel very quickly. Then we also have the energy of the King of Cups. The King of Cups is representing the most emotionally available king of them all. And so this energy is talking about someone who he's emotionally available because he's got a good grip on his emotions. He's sitting out here in the middle of this water. In tarot, water means emotion. And this is talking about here, you know, it's quite rough here. And so it's saying that there could be a lot of volatile emotions around and there's chaos. So something's going on that's chaotic. He's chilled out though. He's sitting out in the middle of it all, and he's totally like, he's gotten himself neutral. He does not react to his emotions and, you know, end up losing his temper and that kind of energy. He's very steady. And so he's considered the most stable of all the kings for matters of love. And he would be the most likely to be in a traditional marriage kind of relationship. So this is the energy of your internal forces. And if we go to the beginning here, this is how you identify yourself. So you do identify as being in the earth angel energy. You do want to stay on your path. You do practice high spiritual principles. And your goal is to add beauty to the world in God's plan. And then on your path of glory, basically. And this energy is talking about your abundance and self-worth. So I feel that there is some conflict within you, and that could be, with just a matter of disciplining your mind, overthinking too much. Like if you ask a question that's logical, you need to use your intuition to choose the most beneficial answer. Because if you, when you ask a logical question, it just brings up another logical question. And so if you use your intuition and your logic together, all of a sudden then, you can start seeing possibilities all over the place. This energy here is talking about your communication in early life. You may have had a mother who was rather cold, or your parents could be divorced as well. They might have been like in a lot of arguments with each other, like this back and forth conflict is what you were raised with. You notice in the background here, there's a little bird here, and that one little bird there represents that this is a very independent person. And quite often, if there's someone who is divorced, especially if the king and the queen of swords show up together in a reading, they're quite often a divorced or separated couple. So it can represent that kind of a little bit, someone who's a little bit more on the cold side. And then we have the home and family emotional foundation, how you are now. And I feel like you have maybe made up your mind and said, when I grow older, I'm not going to be this way. When I have children, I'm going to be more open and loving and, be more expressive in that way. And so that's maybe what you're wishing for. And then this here is creativity, romance, and children. You may have found yourself to be in a relationship that's a little bit immature, and or maybe there seems to be some sort of competition within the relationship is the energy I'm picking up. And so when people start competing with each other instead of working with each other together, it can cause a lot of this bickering energy. And it's so common for us to say, when I grow up, I'm not going to be like my parents were. And that's the subconscious mind. It's so heavily imprinted on us that unless we make a conscious effort to discipline that mind and say, no, you're not getting your way, I'm doing it this way instead, and then you start doing that, then your behaviors start to change. So this is talking about being more like the King of Cups here, who has good control over his emotions and discipline of his mind. And he wasn't always like this. He had to learn to be that way. So it's catching yourself and realizing, I'm doing that again. I'm doing what I don't want to be doing. Stop yourself. Go inward, and how can I handle this differently? So you start to consciously notice when you're using that old energy that you don't want to use anymore. It's really powerful when you start realizing that and it starts to change. And every time you do that, it's kind of like what I said about the competition. You become that much better at it. And so it's a real gift if you can start getting more neutral to your thoughts and making a stronger choice, not based on emotions or on the emotions of your parents from when you were a baby, basically, because you get so triggered. All right, and so we have the external forces coming in, and that's from the bottom of the deck. We have the Wounded Warrior. This card's been coming up a bit, and I'm not surprised in the readings. People who want to stay on their destined path and they're good people are noticing, wow, it just seems like sometimes that people who are, shift heads have a tendency to get ahead quicker, or they seem to be enjoying life more in some ways. They don't take anything, like they don't care. They're indifferent to other people's suffering. They just have that kind of attitude. And it's not that you want to be that way, but it's sometimes really challenging to watch that, like watch them get the promotion or whatever when they're being that way, and wondering, what's the point really of all of this really. And so the wounded warrior is someone that has decided they're going to stay on their destined path no matter what, as best they can. And so this is saying you've done a very good job of this. And there's 8 wands that are planted behind you. So the wands are representing basically actions that you've taken based on your thoughts and what you, how you want to do, and what you invest in, who you invest in. And you plant those, and those grow into these wands that bring fruit in. And you know, it's saying that you have stayed, you know, you've got a headache from it. You're leaning hard on that 9th wand. It's the one closest to your heart, so you're doing your best. There's only 10 wands in the tarot, so this is saying, you know, that you're doing really well to stay on your path, but you're tired. You're getting tired of it. You're tired of the struggle, that kind of energy. And so the wounded warrior energy is saying that, you know, you're very close to an end of a cycle, though. There's only 10 wands. So, you know, congratulations for being able to stay in the game this long. And, you know, do it with integrity. And here we have the Knight of Swords. So the knights in the tarot represent information or communication coming in. And there's 4 knights, and this energy, like in the old days, they would be delivering messages far and wide throughout the kingdoms, and the only way was by horse, basically, or by camel, and I guess in some places. But this is the energy these days, like the communication that's coming in could be in person, but it could also be something that comes in the mail or an email. It could be you know, maybe a phone call, a text message. Perhaps you're on social media and someone messages you, or you see an event and you decide, oh, I'm going to go attend that event. And then you run into someone who's the perfect person with the information that you need. Also, a really good idea is to just take a few minutes each day to find out what's going on in the world. Like, find a source of information that you can trust. I personally enjoy listening to podcasters, that kind of energy, to see, hey, what's really going on here. YouTube is full of lots of people like that have like a more open-minded view than the traditional, you know, media. And so this energy, if you understand what's going on at the top to a certain extent, that for sure, that energy at the top of the pyramid is definitely going to affect the people underneath that energy to varying degrees. But whatever's going on at the top is definitely going on some level at in between and at the bottom. And so this energy, this knight in particular, sometimes is considered a fool rushing in. He's got a red flag on his helmet here, and you notice there's the jagged swords again here, and we can only see half his sword, so it's almost like he only has half the information, and we can't see the point, and we're not sure that he can see the point either. So sometimes this represents a fool rushing in, and you can see he's really driving his horse hard here. And this energy is like the horse is totally stressed out. They're running through barren land, and they are against the wind. We moved into the energy of the fire horse energy on February 17th. That was a Chinese New Year. And the fiery horse energy, this is exactly how you don't want to be handling any of your shift in 2026. Avoid impulsive behavior, avoid being hot-tempered, you know, seeing something, tweeting all over the place, and then the next day realizing, damn, that was AI, and then you have to go out and apologize, that kind of energy. It's talking about, you know, using your discernment, and also what you're going, you know, what are you going to invest your energy in? Are you going to get all riled up about nothing? Or, you know, and is your information correct? Have you done your research to make sure that it's not maybe just AI crapola? And so this is talking, the slot from AI is more and more out there, and so you have to really be discerning of what you're watching and whether or not it's true or not. And so this information, it seems like this information is coming in regarding a partnership, a commitment, or even marriage. And so there's some sort of, there's something going on here with all this competition and this cold energy and the cutthroat energy. There seems to be some sort of issue here. And so now it's kind of saying that the issue could be with someone that you're married to, someone that you're in a commitment with, or maybe even a partner in business or some sort of energy like that. We have disappointment. There we have it. So disappointment in love. Now, this card can represent romantic love, but it can also be disappointed in love, in other people or places, things that you love as well. And it can also represent something that you love to do or be. So this person may have tried to do something 3 times. Trying is not doing. So if he's done his best to do it and it hasn't worked out, now the universe is offering a 4th time, like, why don't you give it one more go? And he's like, I can't handle the disappointment. I don't even think I want to give it a try again. And the universe is going, no, this energy is really good, because right now the new moon coming up is in the sign of Aries, and it's moving out of the sign of Pisces. And there's been about 6 planets that have moved into the sign of Aries in the last few months, and big signs, big planets like Neptune, which takes 14 years to move from one planet to another. And Neptune was in Pisces, and it rules Pisces energy, so it was very comfortable there. And this is how you do things, and it's talking about how you approach life, how you approach business, how you approach people. And we have now the new moon that's coming up on the 17th here, moving from the sign of Pisces into the sign of Aries. So it's going to affect everybody. Pisces is like a more dreamy, King of Cups kind of energy, whereas the Aries energy is a newborn baby that, for something so small and helpless, they get their way. You may have noticed that if you've ever had a newborn infant. They're very loud, and they have to be that way because that's how they communicate. And everybody's rushing around wanting to please them. That's the kind of energy. So the Aries, and you think about what a baby learns in the first year, all of these planets, like the Neptune, for the next 14 years, it's going to be in the sign of Aries. And the way we used to do things in business, the way we are used to doing how conducting ourselves in relationships, and that old shift isn't going to work anymore. And we're almost like newborn babies that have to learn for 14 years now. We're going to be here in Aries energy. The energy of Pisces is like a senior executive authority figure that has more idealistic, so that someone that will give someone another chance or whatever. But the Aries energy is like, no, it's demanding. I want to express myself. But this is making it a really good time to take action on something that you've always wanted to do, something new and innovative that you've thought of. It's important at this time to be assertive, but do your best not to be abrasive. Because abrasive energy, because of the year, the fiery horse energy, it's a red flag. And impulsive, aggressive energy is not beneficial at all in 2026 energy. It's just not. And all of these planets, then Saturn moved in a couple weeks after Neptune moved into Aries. Saturn moved in there. And Saturn is all about being super responsible and digging deep and really looking at, being an adult, that kind of energy. And it's there for 2.5 years. So it's a much more aggressive energy. And we had Venus, which is about love, move in there. And we had Mercury, which is about communication. And I think Jupiter was also in there somewhere. And now the moon is moving into Aries on to boot. And I was watching, I can't remember who it was, but it was an astrologer, and he was saying that this energy of this many planets that are moving all into one sign like this, it doesn't happen very often. And it causes quite, people feel it, right? And so this energy is very intense. And he said it could be 800 years before we see something like this, to the extent that has happened here. And coming up towards the end of the month on the 25th, we have Uranus moving into the sign of Gemini, and that's going to be another major fluctuation. We already had at the beginning of March and the end of February 2 eclipses, and that energy is percolating on the back burner for 6 months, and that's about a lot of change. So there's a lot of transition happening. We can see it being played out in the, in the world. And so this is a good time to be your authentic self, be as, and this is about having the courage and exploring that within yourself. Like, do I have the courage to be me? Am I willing to stand out there and say, this is who I am, this is how I do things? That kind of energy. Being authentic with yourself requires you disciplining your mind so that you're not automatically doing what your parents would do rather than what you want to do. And so that's that's one aspect of this. This can also sometimes represent a third-party energy in a couple. And sometimes it can even represent another energy coming in, which could be a baby. And so sometimes this card can represent disappointment because someone stepped outside of the couple and someone got pregnant. It's that type of energy. Also, it could just be someone that you have, whether it be for love or for business or whatever, or a family member, that you've given them 3 chances and they're saying, just give me one more chance. And you're like, no. I'm not putting up with your energy anymore. You've shown me already 3 times, 3 strikes, you're out. And, most of the time people do show us who they are the first time around. So, giving them 4 opportunities to disappoint you to the level where you're sitting under a tree and not wanting to move again or not wanting to participate in life is not a good place to be. And so this energy here is in your transition house. So it's talking about secrets are maybe going to be coming out, and this energy is moving. Like I can feel like there's something underneath here that's bothering you, and it's bubbling to the surface. That potpourri on the back burner is starting to, maybe the pot's getting low and you need to add more water. And so here we have this energy of the sun coming in, and the sun is representing the happiest card in the deck. It shines its light on all the other cards. The sun is literally, this is God's energy, and it's talking about when you were a child, how the sunflowers in the background here are how happy you are, that it's your nature to be a happy person, not to be in this cold energy. And so, learn from the discernment, but recognize that this is more who you are meant to be. And that, this heavy banner, this child is totally fearless on this pony, no reins, and carrying this heavy banner, which represents their destined path, and carrying it with ease. It's kind of like getting back to that energy of your childlike wonder and using what you have learned from your experiences, and then letting it go and putting the, your best foot forward with it. Like, just like the cheerleaders, learning from the competition, and then next time you go out there, you do it even better than they did it. And then we have this energy of the Wheel of Fortune. And so the Wheel of Fortune is like when it's saying that the Wheel of Fortune is turning, and this is actually 3 wheels turning, past, present, and future, and they're turning into synchronicity and to bring about a change for the better in your life. So this is representing energy that's moving and shifting in your favor. And it's interesting because a lot of people, like, especially when we're in a chaotic energy like this, we feel like everything's going to shift and everything's out of order. But on the wheel here is, on one of these wheels is the Hebrew letters for the name of God, which is tetragrammaton. And a tetragrammaton is actually a sacred geometric symbol showing perfect order, and from the internal and external forces. And it follows the phi ratio, and the phi ratio is when you add geometria is like when they take the value of numbers and they apply it to letters, and you apply that with the letters in different combinations to the name of God. The numbers come out as like the phi ratio, and the phi ratio is 1.618, and it's talking about that ratio and having different boxes that are they're nesting within each other, and they form a specific pattern. And it's talking about like how nature manifests this way. When you see the golden spiral, that's like the energy of tornadoes and hurricanes, and you can actually see it with water running down the drain. You can see that spiraling energy in seashells. You can see it in pine cones and honeybee hives. That it's a specific order and pattern. And we also can see the golden ratio, which is the proportions that make up the human face and the human body and all animals, and etc. So it's, like the distance from the hairline to your eyebrows, and from your eyebrows to the bottom of your nose, and your nose to your chin. And then your face, divided in half the other way. And also it, talks about the size of your head in comparison to the size of your upper body to your lower body. The upper limbs to the lower limb, to the hands, feet, and the fingers and the toes. So this energy is very similar in everybody, slightly different, but it follows a certain pattern. And when I first realized this, and I started noticing it in nature, it's very calming. You can go for a walk in nature and you can see it everywhere, and you realize, even though my life feels really chaotic right now, and it feels like things are spinning out of control, we're actually in a very orderly world. God's world is an orderly world. And so that's why I feel for a lot of people walking in nature without them even realizing it calms the spirit. And then we have the energy of the Emperor. So the Emperor is all about performance. He's been coming in the readings. This is the third time he's come up in these readings, and he was coming up in the readings before that for the middle of the month. And I feel it's because a lot of people are trying to figure out how to be more like the Emperor. He is high-level performance. He wears his armor underneath his robe because he's ready at a moment's notice. If he needs to get out there and grab an opportunity and make it work, he's there. If he needs to go into battle, then he'll do that. He doesn't go into a battle unless he needs to. He's an alpha male, so he rarely needs to. Very, very few beta males will actually try to take him on, and when they do, they usually regret it. He puts them in their place very easily. And so this energy is talking about performance and wanting to perform at that higher level. And he's basically like all four kings in the minor arcana rolled into one person. He'll be at the top of his game in whatever he's doing. He's whatever profession he's in, he's going to be someone that excels at it. And this energy is quite often people will go to him for advice and he represents like an authority figure basically. And then we have judgment coming in. So judgment is coming in from the spiritual realm, and it comes down to the physical. The trumpet is blowing. It's saying, yes, judgment is coming in. The ancestors are literally climbing out of their boxes. They are like so happy, yay, judgment is here. So maybe there's something that was left over from your grandparents or even your parents if they've crossed the veil and it hasn't been cleaned up yet and needs to be. There needs to be some sort of justice, or a judgment needs to be called on the spiritual and possibly on the physical realm. And so this energy sometimes represents the hidden coming out, like Pandora's box being opened sometimes. And once Pandora's box is opened, it's hard to close it. Actually, most people have found they can't. And also the skeletons in the closet can come rolling out from the family. So this is the kind of energy that we're in right now. I do hope that you've gotten some value from this, Gemini. If you're leaving the reading now, thank you for your time and energy. Please do give it a like and comment if you have enjoyed it. It really helps me build my channel. I appreciate it. Also, you're more than welcome to subscribe. I would be honored if you did so. For those of you now who would like to have further clarification with this, let's look at this with my Oracle Tales from the Vector, and that's TAILS. This is courtesy of the Intergalactic Federation of Light. I'm an artist, and I started working on these paintings back in 2007. And the very first painting was the Empress. Angers, that crystal queen, came to me, and the next thing you know, I was painting the Emperor. So this energy, I started in 2007. I completed all 64 paintings in 2020, and now I am getting ready to bring it out. I have time right now to work on my YouTube channel and make it a priority, which is what I'm doing now. And these cards that I'm using have the numbers of the paintings as they are in my gallery. So I want to play with the cards for a while here. I have a lot of written information, but I haven't had a chance to really play with the cards. So this is my perfect opportunity. I thank you for your time and energy. And I'm going to clarify now with these. So this is talking about going on a foolhardy journey. Requires learning the give and take. How much of your time, your money, and your energy are you going to invest in others? And what is the return that you are anticipating? Is it a fair exchange? Making sure that it is, because as you'll learn as you go that the best investment you can have is an investment in yourself. We have the shooting star energy, and so this is talking about that you know, this energy I was talking about here, the base root energy. And this is talking about, because you've been able to stay on your destined path, you've had a good attitude. Good attitude can take you a long, long way. If you have a good attitude, people tend to be more open to what you are presenting. There's some sort of transition coming in. You've been on your path, and I feel like with this wounded warrior energy, you've been really feeling it. And this is saying, don't worry, it is shifting. The wheel of fortune is turning. That things are starting to move forward in your favor. You've been at a high level of performance, and it's time for you to be respected at that level is what's coming up. There's been some abuse of power here. So this is talking about this cutthroat energy from other people, but it's also talking about that immature competition, basically. So abuse of power is a karmic space that people easily fall into. It's just, you know, when you get attached to things, people, places, and things, you have a tendency to make all sorts of excuses for the reasons why you do what you do. And so that's that kind of energy. We have this lovers on this queen, why she is in this cold energy. And I do feel that there was something maybe that you were in conflict with someone that was a significant other. Now that could have been someone in your romantic relationship, like a spouse or a partner in that way, or it could be a business partner, something like that. We do have the lovers on here, so it is saying that there is some sort of that energy. It could be both. It could be maybe someone that you were intimate with, that you were close to, was maybe running and telling other people what you were doing in your business and was making money on the side by doing that. And then you were breadcrumbed because other people, he was giving your information to other people, maybe just because, and it's weird, like why this would be, but this person, it feels like they are jealous of you, basically, jealous of their own partner. It doesn't even make sense, and it feels like it's an opposite sex in energy. So why a man would want to compete with a woman that is his lover, or a lover would, you know, or a woman would want to compete with the man, it doesn't make sense. Why aren't you working together? That kind of energy. We have the Taurus energy coming in. And so this is, again, talking about this give and take. And, you know, in love as well as in business, that's the kind of energy. How do you give and take in a relationship? And I was getting the impression that your energy, you might have had parents that were kind of in this kind of immature competition with each other energy. It seems to be highlighted here. And maybe you said, no matter what, when I grow up, I'm not going to be that way. And then your subconscious mind has you doing that unless you correct yourself. And you can easily, like this is, you can have everything you wish for. So just dedicate your energy the give and take of your energy. Start investing in yourself. Take the time for yourself to be able to shift into the way you want to present yourself and the way that you want the energy to move. Not the way that you were taught when you were a kid if it's not working for you anymore. And maybe in the past, the way you did things, you need to shake it up a little here and get into this new energy that's happening. The one thing about Gemini is you're really, really good at doing that, like being able to be very quick-minded. So that has it's a two-edged sword, I feel like, because it's very quick then to do what you're used to doing. Boom, you just do it. And maybe regret it after, or say, damn, why didn't I do it differently? And so it's also saying that when you make a commitment to changing the way that you do that you actually have a lot of control over that once you realize, okay, I want to change it, and you say, that's what I'm going to do. We have the karmic space of pride, and this is like all or nothing energy. You'll see this with some people in competition. Either they have to be the best, and it has to go their way, or they just fall apart. And this can be that energy. For example, like you might go to someone's home and they're a clean freak and their house is immaculate. But then the next time you go to their home, it's like a total, complete disaster. There's no in between. It's either they're all in or there's nothing. It's really becoming extreme in that way. We have the ego energy. This is another karmic space. So there's a lot of karma coming up. And I was feeling this energy of your ancestors. Once you start to understand this, it's so much easier for you to be able to move forward in a strong way, the way you want to. And so this is talking about, keeping your ego in check. And a big part of this, when spiritual people talk about the ego, it's not so much that you're bragging too much or in that energy so much, but more about saying to yourself, well, I'm just one person, what can I do? And only seeing yourself as a physical person, and not recognizing the needs of your soul and the needs that you're on the spiritual part of your journey. And when you start recognizing that and let go of like the ego, which is representing who you think you are from the way you were raised and what's in front of you right now in the physical world, realizing that you're much more powerful than that. And we have the superstar energy, giving voice to harmony in your life. So this is going to change. I'm feeling like I can right away. That was when this card came up. It's talking about if you can master this to some extent, even if you just improve slightly, you're going to notice that this energy is not going to be so intense. We have this is saying the wheel of fortune is turning. Someone's running to tell someone, and it may be the person that disappointed you. Oh my goodness, they have a new lover coming in, and they're all calm, and they look really good, and they're doing really well, and they got the promotion, that kind of. And you should have seen them. They were so together, and we thought we had them all rattled, and they're not rattled at all. But now they're rattled. Is the energy I'm picking up. And so it's sad to say when your own partner or someone you've made a commitment with is in that kind of energy. But it's good to know the truth, because the truth will set you free. And you deserve to have a good lifestyle and to benefit from the work you put into something. And then we have the 9 of all right, is the 9. So the 9 is sticking out for me, but this is the Hermit. So this is about, when you don't know what to do, this is the end of a cycle. So the 9 is saying that cycle, that energy is done. Like you're not, like when you start recognizing that you need to be independent from this energy, like you don't want to be competing with the person that you're supposed to be the most, supportive of, and they supportive of you. And I feel you've been supportive of them, but you may not recognize, and this is something you really want to catch yourself on, is are you automatically going to how your parents did things because your subconscious mind is jumping in? And, you know, you need to just start really noticing it and discipline that mind and say, no, I'm doing it differently. And you may find like, really, I feel this is a huge shift for you. And with the Gemini energy, once you decide to do it, I just feel like it'll be like so quick. It won't even, it'll be just a choice that you make. Like almost like, okay, this is how I normally will do it. I'm going to do the opposite. Kind of like getting into this energy of all or nothing in a way, of letting go of how you, like again, really adapting to this new energy. All these planets moving into Aries and moving forward in that way. Why not be doing something new? If you have a new lover coming in and you're going, and God is saying that you're going to be happy and it's going to take you back to the nature that you wanted to be in, your natural, sunny, happy self, why not? We have indifference. So this is talking about, you know, when people say, oh, we're in it together, but then you find out that behind your back, there's been a lot of shift going on. And so this is the kind of energy where God is saying this new partner is more stable for you. And especially if you really open up to your heart's desires. So plugging, you know, like I said here with this card, disciplining your mind and then plugging into and asking yourself in meditation and prayer, what is it I really want? What are my authentic desires? What does my soul require right now? That kind of energy. And then that cycle ends, boom, and you get into this energy, and this is the change coming over you. So this is, once you learn this, you're going to be a much happier person, and that's the kind of energy then where the Wheel of Fortune starts turning and saying, okay, we need to bring in some new for this person. They're, you know, they've put the work in and they're ready for it. And the sun is shining down on you being a high performance person. This is really good. And then look at this. The judgment is that getting into your star energy. So not only earth angel energy, but being like, it's time for you to shine. And you may have like a special quality or something, and maybe you've been holding back on it because you feel like it's not how you were raised, or it would be too weird, or you know, people might look at you funny, and now you're just going to say, I don't give a shift. I'm going to be myself. I'm not going to be who others think I should be. I'm going to be who I am. And that is definitely the Aries energy coming in. You know, but do it, be assertive, but do your best not to be abrasive. And so the star energy is saying, just like in the earth angel energy, you're following your destined path, but you're allowing yourself to really shine now and stand out, and not be afraid to stand out. It's okay to be you. It's more than okay. Be you. The universe is applauding you for doing that, and so is God and the angels. Everyone wants you to be you. You have special qualities, you know, that you came here to be. Put it out there, even if it seems like it could be something that has been new and innovative that you've been thinking of for a while now, or maybe even when you were younger. And now it's if you're going to do it, if you want to do something new, now's the time. It's very, very supportive of that energy. I do hope you've enjoyed this. I really like this. This was a good reading, Gemini. I feel like there's so much potential here. And it's just sort of a slight shift in the way that you think, basically. So I do hope you've enjoyed it. Give it a like and comment if you have. Consider subscribing if you resonate with the energy. And I will be back. The next astrological insight will be for the end of the month of April. Bye for now.